I think we've connected. Did we? Yes. We're connected. Everybody's connected. Everything's connected. Okay. Welcome to Manifesting with Ari Mac. I'm your host, spiritual coach Ari Mac, affirmation aromatherapy candle maker, spiritual coach, astrologer. I like to think of myself as a guide. I don't predict the future. I just help you navigate through it. And Spirit's giving me talents where I understand astrology, affirmations, and aromatherapy. Says once you get those things going on a regular basis, you got to try. So that means your circle will continue to grow. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, in astrology, we have different signs and different planets. And funny is, we have 12 signs and we have 10 planets. So a couple of those signs have to double up with the planets. And the two that does that is Venus, which has Taurus, and Libra. Taurus is the earth sign, Libra is the air sign. Okay. Then we have Virgo and Gemini, which piggyback on Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communications. It's how we communicate, it's how we see ourselves. If you think about it in form of our solar system, okay, you got the earth, which is our ego. Then you got the sun and the moon, which is our inner selves and our male female side, if you want to get it. Then you got Venus, Mars, how we fall in love, how we act in love. And then the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, which affects generational information. It talks about the generational shift that all energies are made available, and some will go all the way, some will not do a gosh darn thing. And that's okay. Now, when Mercury, it's one of the planets that's closest to us, and it's doing a retrograde. Now, retrograde means it's just not flowing, okay, with the Earth's gravitational pull. It's kind of moving away from it. All right. So, what happens, right? We have all of these lovely satellites up above us, okay, and these satellites all connect with our phones and our laptops and all that fun stuff. But what would happen if that energy is getting pulled away? It would cause a little bit of friction because everything's based on energy. Okay, it's based on energy, transferred energy, and zip and zag it, and here we are. Okay, on the internet live. I just let it set at 444 for a bit. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Faith Fear. Appreciate. So when I look at a chart, I look at it as an X-ray. Okay, like the Hippocratic Oath, for example. Hippocrates was an astronomer. And the Hippocratic Oath is something that all doctors take because at one point they looked at your chart and that's how they figured out, where you were coming from and where the planets were lying when you came down. Now, as science has grown and changed, we've become very arrogant in our thinking that we can look at smidgens and understand and we get it. And I do get it. We do want to look at smidgens and make a whole assessment. However, the universe does have a flow. It does have a key signature, and it does have a rhythm that's onto itself. And when you find that rhythm, that's when you know how to flow in your chart to manifest what you're asking for. Now, your thinking can also be affected by your senses: touch, taste, sight, smell. Okay? Those all lead to who you are, how you receive things, how you crave things, how you interact. Those things compile in your astrology. That also compiles with aromatherapy and affirmations, because aromatherapy and affirmations are repetitive energies that you can conjure up, that you can literally say over and over again to start creating the mental balance that you're asking for and using cell to keep that calm. Smells is our easiest way to calm down. It is the easiest way for you to get your focus and your balance. When you're hungry, you smell everything, don't you? Don't you? Okay, dogs smell fear. So first thing I learned when I started dealing with animals, you have to control your senses because then you control your environment so then you can make better choices. Now in astrology right now, I'm going to specifically talk about the Mercury in retrograde Scorpio thing. Okay, of the 10 planets, we have 5 in retro. I'm going to go over them really quick. The sun just moved into Sagittarius. Happy birthday to all my Sagittarius. Happy birthday. Happy birthday wherever you are. Mercury's in Scorpio, just tiptoed. And ironically, Mercury was in Sag and it moved into Scorpio. And the sun was in Scorpio. And now we're moving into Sag. So you see that crisscross that the universe just tiptoed at us? Fascinating. Venus is in Scorpio, so that gives another edge to Venus, which wants to love. So my lovely Venus, that's my Tauruses and my Libras, got a little sharp tongue, maybe going through a lot. Energy's coming at you. Mars is in Sagittarius. Now that's not a bad placement for Mars because Mars feels comfortable there. Jupiter is in Cancer, also reversed. Saturn is in Pisces, also reversed. Uranus is in Taurus, also going in reverse. And Neptune's in Pisces, also retrograding. And then Pluto's in Aquarius, moving forward. And I'm thanking God for the small favors. We got Jupiter, we got Pluto and Aquarius moving forward. I'll take that because that's two big planets pushing us forward, pushing electricity forward. So, how are you doing? How are you guys doing out there? You okay? Are you feeling this energy? Now, I put a little post out that I was going to talk about my experiences with this particular retrograde. And I'm one of those people who are aware that these things are happening. Okay. I do pay attention to the subtleties because I personally do not like um, losing my mind a lot with unnecessaries. So when Mercury's doing its thing, I always pay special attention and give much respect because that planet affects how you communicate, which is extremely important in how you live your life and kind of like the barriers, the protective barriers around you, boundaries of how you speak and how you deliver. So when Mercury being in the planet of Scorpio, Scorpio is about that emotion. It's the only fixed water sign of the trilogy. And if you look at a scorpion as a physical symbol, it has a hard outer shell, but it's very much on the inside. Now it's notorious for its Scorpio stinger. It can heal, it can also kill. Is that not profound? I don't even know where to go from that. Okay? It can heal and it can kill. So it's just like the Scorpio sign. They can rise from the ashes. They are industrious with money. Power and passion is their thing. That's their thing. They need passionate. They need to be into something. They need to be needed and need to have emotional motivation. We all do, but theirs is driven by their passion. And that's usually by what they love or what they want to be close to. With Mercury being in this position and Sag being on the outside, Sag is a free spirit. It is a fire sign. It's ruled by Jupiter. Okay, so it's used to moving around and doing its thing. You put freedom, pent up passion, or just passion, and yes, there's sexual passion also involved with this Scorpio energy. So if you're feeling frisky, it's because you're feeling frisky. But if you're also dealing with pain and discomfort, it's because you're also supposed to be dealing with the pain and the discomfort. The universe is telling you something. They're sharing something with you in your body that needs to be addressed. Okay? So don't take this as like spirit punishing you. All right? Oh, Dominique, you feeling all that? Yeah. But this is our time to heal. Because the other part is with Sagittarius sitting on top of us, it gives us an opportunity to learn something, guys. And maybe learn to mature a little bit in our minds so everything doesn't have to be high stakes and on fire. I mean, look, we're in it now. Okay. And I was going to share with you that literally, and then I got information for each sign. I will try to give you at least a little suggestion of your theme and what you can do high and low. Okay. So this week, I knew the retro was going on, so I was trying not to get into too much. I'm a sun sign Cancer, rising Scorpio. Oh, you are so emotional right now, aren't you, Dominic? Oh, make sure you're eating well and stay away from stressful people. Okay, all right. Yeah, send me a direct message. Yeah, okay. I know. So I was trying to wash clothes because I really was trying to like stay on top of my task and take care of my household chores. And my washer's been acting a little weird. It's a new washer, but whatever, it's a washer. Anyway, so I went in and someone that had washed before didn't take all their clothes out. So I said, okay, I'll just run it again. Well, the thing started acting weird and I didn't know what was in there, so I had to stop it. Ends up it was kind of like having a little meltdown. Guys, literally, I had to reach in and pull because the water wasn't subsiding because it needed to be drained. Anyway, I ended up having to reach in and wring each item out, like literally wring each item out by hand. Now, I haven't been doing my yoga. All right. I've been a bad yoga person, bad. It's been at least 6 days, and I haven't done a good 30, 45-minute set. And it's not because I don't know. I have the mat out. I'll think about it, and then I'll let myself get distracted. And that's something I needed to work on. So, anyway, That particular day, when I got up, my back was a little tweaked because I just haven't been stretching out like you need to when you're working. I'm doing a lot of products. I'm in production on candles. So anyway, as I'm reaching down into this wash, pulling this water up, I'm going into a yoga move, guys, and I don't even think I'm trying to. But I reach down with my right hand. I have to reach up with my left. I'm on my tippy toe on my right hand side. And then I lift my left leg all the way up. And my back, because I had to twist out because I was balancing out, I heard my back go pop, 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 pop. And literally, I realigned myself. I would not have thought in a million years that was I was going to be doing that day. You know what I'm saying? I was not trying to do that. That was not the goal of me getting those clothes out. But the universe said, well, we're going to have you reignite your body. You're going to reconnect. And sure as tooting, you guys, I popped that puppy. My back went, and I was like, whoa. Because I wasn't trying to do that. But I realized being in a really different spot, I ended up inadvertently using my intuition because I didn't want to hurt my back by bending over too far. And it inadvertently helped me. So even though I thought it was what I wanted to do and it wasn't the results I was aiming for, something good came out of it. Now, the wash is still tripping. I expect it to stop soon, but I'm not going to push it. I'm going to take my time and get my maintenance guy when he can. Because, of course, my maintenance dude is busy. Because I called him and he said, Oh, and I just knew that meant I cannot help you. I am knee deep in whatever project he's working on. But of course he would be. But of course. Now we're peaking. Retrogrades have peaks. So when we start peaking, which was yesterday, last night, we go all the way up, energy kind of like, then it starts coming back down. Now the thing is, okay, as we're doing this energy, you're going to feel your choices, good or bad, and the anxiety that comes with them. Sorry, that's just a part of the process. Don't put that out of the way. Maybe the universe is trying to tell you something. They're trying to share with you something. Now, I've developed programs and I have been doing this work for a long, long time. When you're ready to change, the universe always opens the door. So, like, follow, okay, tap, DM me for more information. All right, because it takes internal growth before you see outside growth. You don't see outside growth until you got your head together and you're ready to receive it, basically. And this particular retrograde is about truth. It's about truth. You can't be lied to if you have an understanding of truth. That's a bounding understanding of what feels right for you and what will help you move forward. Now, that doesn't mean your truth has to be everybody else's truth. On the contrary, maybe your truth is different from everyone else. It's not a bad thing, but it's got to be something that's healthy. It can't bring you closer to destruction. You understand? And right now, with the transformational energy that Scorpio is providing, I think the Sag on top gives us the courage to just get out and say it, talk about it, discuss it, let it be known. I mean, because let's face it, we got a lot of stuff going on internally. And how many times do you actually get a chance to review your internal dialogue and be able to reset your mental boundaries? Okay, so that you can really receive the life that you're asking for instead of just claiming and saying, I want. It takes a great soul to not only want, but to receive. And despite all things happening, yes, you fight for what you want. Yes, you want to move into a better mental stage, but you want to do that in a healthy way. Now, you guys show me some love, give me some likes, give me some thumbs up. You can tap the hearts here on TikTok. Those are absolutely free, even though flowers and all that good stuff is also welcomed. Because I'm giving you loves right here. This is coming from my heart. And I know what's happening. I can feel it. And each sign right now, like my water babies, that's my Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpios, you guys are nervous as hell. Because you have a lot of anxiety going on. There's a lot of information coming down, and some of it you're going to know what to do with. Some of it you won't know diddly or squat for quite some time. But that's the protocol. That's where we're at. It's not a bad thing. Okay. And some of us also have to make some different choices. Maybe we've been around people we thought were one thing and it turns out there's something else. That's a big one because that's a part of the revelations that come down. You just start seeing things from where they are, not from where you want them to be. And it's not a bad thing. It's actually giving you a chance to release a lot of unnecessary energy that you may be carrying. You may feel an obligation to a company or a cause or a situation. And you may find now, after you review and just kind of reassess, that the truth is that maybe it's not the same that you thought it was. Maybe you've changed. Maybe it's changed. Maybe you're not in the same season because things happen for reasons and seasons to drive our purpose, to drive us forward to our personal goals. And to be wherever you're going to be, guys, you got to have that realization. I hope you're noticing how I'm using a lot of REs in what I'm saying. Because sometimes you need to receive the information over a period of time, and sometimes over and over again. One of the things I do with all my students is I encourage you to look at the videos that I send at least 2 or 3 times. And you can just listen to them while you're moving around. You don't have to sit and watch the video. They're 30 minutes. They're giving you examples, giving you insight, and give you a chance just to hear what potentially is going on around in your particular neck of the woods. For example, with earth signs, that's my Taurus, my Virgos, and my Capricorns. You guys are in a lot of frustration. You just are. You got some challenges physically, probably got some mental challenges. And with the sad sprinkle on top of you, you got to start making a different choice. You cannot pretend like you don't know anymore. You have got to move past that bullshit. Okay, Earth? Because you're smart enough to know how to move through, but now you're going to have to own where you're going. And that means you got to pay attention, Earth. Okay? So if something don't look right, it don't feel right, it ain't acting right, it's because it ain't right. And that's what you have to remember. Because look, guys, you only get one life. That's it. Once you leave this life, you're not coming back into this body. So why not enjoy it? Okay, why not do something where you are getting ahead and learning to affirm for better and attract better, and maybe not be so emotionally constipated. Yes, I said it. Emotionally constipated. I didn't put it in this book because I got a book coming out, but I'm putting the next book because emotional constipation is real. And that's when you cannot decide for anything, which makes you stay constipated. Meaning you do not move forward nor backwards. You're just stuck. And after a while, who can you blame for being stuck? You can't say people are undermining you. You can't say people are dinking with you. You can't do any of that. You have to own that it's a part of you, like something inside of you, I don't know, doesn't want to grow, doesn't want to deal with hardship, maybe has a hard time with some trauma. These are all real things, guys. These are real things that happen. I had a client, and her father always put a great emphasis on being really, 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 really smart. He didn't really teach her a lot about friends because he really wasn't into friends. He was mostly into favors. She used that as a role model. Well, as she got through college and moved up, she didn't make friends, you guys. She made favors. So one day, when she was trying to get together, I don't know, a retirement party, something where they would celebrate collectively, a milestone like 10 years of the company or something along that effect. She realized she didn't have anybody that she could call upon that would help her do it. So she had favors. She didn't make any friends. And that really impacted her. That she realized during the whole time that she was making favors, she really didn't stop to make a lot of friends. And how she knew that is when she reached for people to talk to her about possibly a retirement party. Nobody had too much to say. They just let us know, and we'll put her on our calendar and we'll come. Nobody volunteered to help her. Nobody got excited about what they could plan for her. They were very cordial, very respectful, but very detached. And that happens when you choose not to be giving of energy. You don't want to give energy, you won't receive energy. Who can you possibly fault for that? Now, when I look at my air signs, that's my Libras, my Geminis, my Aquariuses. You guys are going to be biting because Mercury and Scorpio gives you this little added smart ass thing happening. So you just got to watch you ain't, mouthing off to the wrong people. I mean, especially Aquarius, because with Pluto being in Aquarius, you have this extra kind of like arrogance about yourself. So you can easily, push up on somebody and not even trying to be mean. You just honestly are not considering the person's feelings. It happens. I'm just warning you as this energy shifts, you maybe want a little bit more sensitive to how you treat folks because how would you want to be treated? That is the best measuring stick. And my fire, we're going to get to you guys in just a second. That's my Aries, my Leos, and my Sagittariuses. And Sag is catching it right now. They like all up in it. Sag is like, what the hell? I can't blame them. I can't blame them because Jupiter, the planet the Sagittarius normally rules, is in Cancer. So that's a big old like mush puppy. They're so emotional. And then Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces, and they're going backwards. They're in retro. So Sagittarius, oh, y'all are emotional as all hell. And that's okay though, because as long as you're emotional, you're processing your feelings, you're letting go. Just make sure you guys are staying hydrated too. Because with all this ups and downs, like today here in Los Angeles, it is actually gray. It is raining, it's overcast, and it's beginning to look a lot like what we call Christmas, holiday time, because when it gets rainy and stuff, it's like, ooh, because they say it never rains in Southern California. That is not the truth. That is a bald-faced tale. I'm telling you now. It does rain in Southern California. I've seen it. It's happening as we speak. Okay. So with this kind of overcast day, people want to like chill. You want to stay home. You don't want to do too much. And you got to push through it. You have to find that little inspiration, which I think the Mercury and Scorpio can give you. Okay. Because it is a passionate sign and it is fixed. So if you can find something that's motivating to you, something that makes you happy, a goal, aspiration, that would be nice. So my fire signs, that's my Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, is y'all got to watch your anger. Yeah, because you got a lot of fire and you got a lot of water. And when fire and water comes together, it becomes fog. It becomes fog, which means nobody can see what the other's saying. The emotions are clouded. It's not clear. The picture's, fuzzy. So watch your attitude, fire. Now, Aries, you guys got like a lot of energy. You really, really, really do, with Mars being in Sagittarius. So that's one of your elements. Now, aromatherapy. Let me talk about this for just a second. Now, this is the white vanilla candle. You can get it here at the TikTok store. Okay. Now, this particular candle has an exciting vanilla, but this season I added a little bit of peppermint. Okay. And mm, 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 mm. It's something about vanilla, guys. If you want to start anything on your journey on aromatherapies, start with vanilla. Okay. It is one of those precious little scents that I think we take for granted because it's something that you've had it as a child. Like literally as a child, you probably had a vanilla cake. Everybody has. Okay. So it's a very comforting smell, a very comfortable feeling. So when I'm using vanilla, especially with white, it creates a blanket of just soothing, of relaxing. And I think that's what we really, really need right now, to know that it's okay just to relax. Even if there's a lot of things going on, breathe. Now, I do teach meditation classes through Zoom. So definitely DM me for more information. We do have a class coming up this Sunday. Check it out at my candlesbyari.com, because it's something that I've been doing for years, like decades. And I find if you can get into the right meditation on a day-to-day basis, it mentally keeps you supple. Yeah, it keeps you in a place where even though things ain't perfect, you're not ready to go off the deep end and do something inappropriate, if that makes any sense. It finds that balance to keep you from losing your mind. Okay, because that's important. And I recommend to anyone, if you're starting aromatherapy, start with something basic. You could be a perfume you like, it could be a fragrance. I always start with something relating to food because it's easier to get and you'll do it more often. So you eat, I'd say at least 3 times a day, maybe 2 snacks, maybe once a day. Anyway, you do have to eat. So I hope that when you're eating and smelling and maybe savoring what you're having. Okay. So, it's important that you understand how aromatherapy and astrology can work hand in hand when you're dealing with a lot of mental stress, which I feel like what this Mercury and Scorpio is doing, and with the sun being in Sagittarius, we just have that smart ass. Oh, hi. Hi, Miss Naima. Thanks for joining. Oh, and if I remember, you're a fire sign, correct? Because fire is going through that so I hope that everything's going well for you. hmm Thanks for joining today. Appreciate. So, energy begots energy. Hey, Miss Skittles, thanks for joining. Appreciate you. So, as we go through our day, I always remember to breathe. Okay, mm, to take a deep, sweet smell and calm my down. You understand? Because sometimes all you can do is just be in it. And with this energy, hey girl, you gonna want to kick somebody's ass. I'm not gonna lie. You do have a little can of whip ass, and it's kind of sitting on the desk, and it's partially open. You know what I mean? And depending on how somebody come at you, you may find yourself reaching for it and opening the can and going, "Oops," and then it just spilled all over the place, and they didn't just, "How dare you? What you say to me?" And you just don't give a fuck. You just do not give a rat's ass. Yeah. And that can happen too, especially with my fire. Because fire's got that little like, you don't want none of this. Don't start nothing, and there won't be anything. But if you do want to go there, especially Aries, I think Aries is capable of just taking off their earrings, pulling their hair back. You know what I mean? Putting some baby oil, baby lotion, and just going there. Because I think that's where Aries is right now. Because Aries is in, Mars is in Scorpio, so they got that little extra going on. So I think of that trilogy, they're the tightest. Now for the air, that's my Geminis, my Aquariuses, and my Libras. Y'all got that biting energy happening. Yeah, y'all got that biting. Oh, thank you, Dean. Thank you. Appreciate. Oh my goodness. Dean went crazy. Thank you. Love you, baby. Appreciate. You guys can hit some hearts over here in my YouTube. I appreciate. And you can also share and like this with people who would dig this. The community needs to grow, and that starts with you guys. So share, okay? Make sure if somebody's going through a lot, positive thinking. Send them some good love. Send them a candy bar. Hell, send them a pizza. A lot of times people just hungry. All right. So with this energy, you got a chance for some revelations. All right. Like when I went to get those clothes out of the wash, I had no idea I was going to be literally twisting. And this stuff was like 5 or 6 pounds per time. So literally, I was moving my arms up and wringing stuff. Let me tell you, I had to go sit for a moment because I had other things to do. I was making candles, and I had to say, you know what? Be here. Be here. Just, stay right here and own it. Because there's nothing I could do. It needed to be done. Bitching and complaining was not going to help it. I had to sit and own it. And when you sit and own something, guys, it takes the power away from it. You know what I mean? It takes that, what am I doing? No, you know what you're doing. You know you're not going to like it, but you're going to have to sit here and you have to deal with this shit. But you know what happens when you deal with the shit? The shit ain't that big of a deal no more because you tackled a big monster. I'm gonna use the analogy of cooking. I like to cook. So when I go places and taste stuff, I'll look up the recipes and try them at home myself. But when you try them at home yourself, you have to get enough of the spices to go toward the direction of whatever the recipe is. Sometimes you have all of them, sometimes you don't. But for example, I go to Costco to buy my meat, so I get big packages of chicken and beef, and I have to break that down because that's a part of my process. And I break it down into 2 or 3 ounces or pounds or whatever each. Why? Because as we break it down, it's more palatable, and now I can work with it. That's the same thing with our energy. You got to look at the big picture. You got to look at how it's all falling, and then you got to start putting that stuff in perspective. You have to put it in perspective, guys. Because if you let it, it will take you all the way down a bottomless pit of unforgiving, hard hittedness, and in the end, wasting a lot of your precious time that you cannot get back on things that you could not change. So, my grandmother gave me the best piece of advice. She was one of those advice people that I love. I'm thankful she walked through my life. Thankful. Because she told me the sweetest revenge to anybody that's ever harmed you is to live well. Live well, my love. You know, smile, take care of your body, make sure your skin looks good, take care of your hair. All right, get your nails done, get your toes done. Find clothes that flatter your figure, colors that flatter your skin tone. Don't walk around looking crazy. Find people that do love you. Look for a mate that's down with you. You know, these simple little things could save a life, truly. Because if somebody's not giving you those things and somebody is treating you less than, why would you stay with them? Why would you stay with them? If somebody's taking you into poo pooville, okay, not being considerate of your time, your energy, your emotions, or anything in between, why would you allow that? I want you to stop and sit there. Because with this Mercury and Scorpio, it gives you a chance to reevaluate wherever the heck you are. You don't have to do anything. You have to take no action. But you need to sit with it and ask yourself, why would I stay someplace that's not healthy? And maybe you have reasons. Children can be a reason. Economics can be a reason. All those things can be a reason. But here's what you can do. You can start mentally affirming for better. You can ask the universe to push your mind ahead by affirming right now that you've received whatever it is this lesson was and you've moved on. Because I'm telling you, with this Earth signs, that's my Tauruses, Virgos, and Capricorns, the frustration is real. It's real. And the only way you can work through it is just own that I have to do better. I have to take care of myself. I have to make myself more of a priority. You know, you got to go in there and stop looking for the outside to change. And I promise you, when you look into what you can do to adjust your own personal space, all this other shit will fall into place. Because you're not going to be letting it drive you crazy no more. Or at least you'll have it in check. Because sometimes we do need to go through a lesson. We all do it. Every one of us got to go through a lesson more than once. I know. I know. I know. I don't want to go the first time. But think of it this way. How are we going to learn? How will we learn if we don't go through the lesson? How will we grow if we don't get where we need to make some adjustments? Look, I don't want to be no old person doing the same silly shit that I did when I was young. That sounds crazy. Because when you were young, you may have had the excuse, I don't know any better. Nobody taught me. I was in a bad place. All these things are valid. No one's disputed them. But at some point, when you do get your mind together and your spirit together, you have to know I can do better than this shit. I can own what I'm doing and make myself a better person. Okay? Because if you don't, that's why not laugh at me. It's okay. It's guys, everybody go through silly shit. It's the way it is. It's okay. You can laugh at yourself. I laugh at me. I find myself doing stuff and I go, wow, okay. And I know the rules. Like I have been in this program for a long time. And I still sometimes have to catch myself and go, you know better. You know ain't no good gonna come from that. You know the universe is gonna slap your ass around the room if you don't stop that. I just walked into it. I say this because you may find yourself going through the same thing again during this retrograde because you are repeating yourself. Yes, you are. I went to the same place twice yesterday. Yes, I went to my mechanic twice within the hour and a half. The best thing about yesterday is I did my doctor's checkup because I've been changing my diet and working on a new program. And I have to tell you, I done good. Okay. I'm doing good. And that's what it was about for me is that I release whatever that I need to release because I'm not trying to be super skinny. I'm a grown woman. So I want to be healthy, be able to run a couple of, blocks without my heart falling out of my chest, maybe do a handstand. I'd like to do that into my 60s, 80s, 90s, perhaps. Eat really, really well. Guys, I like going to dinner. I like experiencing new cuisine. So that's one of my little things. And this holiday season, the one thing that this whole retro has revealed to me is the quality of the people I want to be around. Because we're still going to do the holiday thing. We're still going to decorate. We're going to minimize the gifts so we don't all have to trip and go back buying stuff because we can do that anytime. And more importantly, we're going to be about each other. I got a bake day event coming up, which is an annual event we do with all our family and friends. And we get together and we get baked. We bake, we share foods, drinks, and everybody has a good time. And this year, because it's a roaming party, because you got to have a party like a bus party, because a party with a party is a party. Anyway, this year the party is going to be at a friend of ours' house, and it's going to be tickle pink. They got an outdoor, indoor type of thing happening. They got a baby grand piano. So we don't know what's going to happen, but I do know we're going to have a good time. Okay, that's what I did. I set those things in the motions, and it's an annual event. I already have people on the guest list and other people trying to get on the guest list because we're limited. We only have so much space. But the most important thing is the regulars always show up. And that's where you want to start. And bake day could just be you and a good friend, you and your lover, you and your mom, you and your pal. It doesn't have to be a big event. As long as y'all together. And, with the modern cooking with the microwave, you can dang near put everything through a microwave or put everything in that thing I don't have one of them. Those air fryers, I don't have one of those. I don't have enough counter space. So, but you can throw something in there and damn near bake it just as fast. Cookies, brownies, the whole nine. Hey, Nikki, thanks for joining. So, with this Scorpio being in full effect, okay, I'm telling you guys, each sign, let's not show our ass. Let's be conscious of where we're at and who we're talking to. I'm going to recap this, okay? For my water signs, that's my Pisces, my Cancers, and my Scorpios. Your ass is going to be nervous. It's just the energy around you, okay? You're going to be tripping because, well, it's trippy energy. The sun's in Sagittarius, that's belligerent. Mercury is in Scorpio, so is Venus. That's two Scorpio planets, trining Saturn in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, which are reversing, Mercury retrograde. I'm not trying to drive you crazy, but there's a lot of shit going on. Okay, so water, you're going to be tripping. That's the way it is. Use that energy to try to reconnect to maybe some old people in your life. Earth, that's my Taurus, my Virgo, my Capricorn. Y'all just frustrated because you really can't push forward. You have to work and mine out the stuff you can't do and move toward the stuff you can do. That's just the way it is right now. Just do a pro and con list, Earth, and you'll be good. Okay? Oh, thanks for the gift. Thank you. Appreciate the teddy bear. Air signs. And that's my Geminis, my Libras, my Aquariuses, especially my Aquariuses, because Pluto is an Aquarius. So you very emotional. Y'all biting. Y'all got this little, yeah, because that Mercury and Scorpio, y'all already can be very curt air. You can be very intellectual to the point where you can make somebody feel like they're stupid. Yeah, you don't even mean it. That Valley Girl thing, that's true. That's totally an air sign thing. They're not meaning anything. They truly do not mean to piss you off. That's just how they feel about shit. Okay. So you got that little bite going. And my fire. That's my Aries, my Leo. Okay. And my Sagittarius, especially Sagittarius. Sagittarius with Jupiter being in Cancer, you guys are some emotional MFs. Okay, y'all be crying on somebody, throwing some shit at somebody's head, hugging somebody, and then slapping them. I mean, that's the dichotomy of a Sagittarius. They're half human, half animal. And they don't admit they're going to do this. Just so you know, I was reared by a Sagittarius woman. And that woman would slap me upside my head when I least expected. Okay. And then act like she didn't do it. And that always frightened me because did she do it or was I making it up? Either way it goes, I got my ass kicked. So when I tell you about certain people, I'm telling you what I know they will do, not what you think they will do. Okay. Fire's about action. So when you least expect it, they'll just say some shit to you. That's just who they are. My dad was a Leo. He just, and my brother was an Aries. So I grew up with fire all around me, and I was a little water baby. All right. You know how I survived? I learned how to roam with the fishes. Okay. So meditation is the best way to handle this energy. If you chant, meditate, whatever you do to calm yourself down, you need to put that on your schedule. Okay. And I mean, on your schedule. Okay. Because on a real tip, you can't afford to go backwards. Okay. So as you go through this, did I catch that? As you go through this, okay, the energy that's coming down from the heavens, okay, is for us to grow as people. As people. It's not for us to be penalized. The universe is not trying to hurt us. They don't need to undermine us. They don't. But you do need to listen when you're running into roadblocks and things don't seem to be going the way you planned. Now, for me, that's red flag. I take that as a universe saying, are you sure you want to do that? And for me, when something happens I'm done. I'm out. It's a wrap. So, just keep that in mind. Also, look at your affirmation. What are you affirming to? Like, what's coming out of your mouth? Are you affirming nice things for yourself and others? Or are you saying some hateful shit? I mean, just stop and own it. Are you being cool? Or do you feel like somebody owes you something? Okay, this is the question you got to ask yourself, because your affirmation is very important for your your mentals. On our candles, the candles by Ari, every single candle has an affirmation that worked. I've been using them for quite some time with my clients, so I can validate that affirmations on the candles can make a difference in your mental well-being. Okay, and your astrology. If you can look at your chart, you can do that yourselves, guys. You can look it up online and just kind of see if any of that stuff makes sense. Is your Venus, your Mars, your Mercury? They have so many platforms that are free, and they do break it down quite nicely. So I invite you to try. You can always get in contact with me, DM me if you have some questions. Yes, I do charts, but I do charts for Astrology Intuitive to perpetuate you to the next level. It's like come up with a plan with your X-ray. After you go through something, your body's go through a change. You got to look at the X-ray and see what's going on. What's what? That's a natal chart. It looks at the X-ray of the pictures that you put into effect when you came down here. Okay, so once you get that picture, then you can make all kinds of changes because you're informed. And of course, taking care of your body. I can't emphasize enough to eat a fruit, a vegetable, one serving a day. If you can do nothing else, a banana, a grape, and a carrot. Okay, or just a banana and a carrot. Just a colorful freaking fruit. And some water. Okay? Because let me tell you something. These basic things could save your life. Oh my goodness. I know we think water is not a big deal, and we probably don't think it has a big effect. But if you look up the facts of what happens when you don't drink enough water and how it slowly deteriorates your mental well-being, you wouldn't even question. You'd have that shit on your deck right away. So we got Mercury retrograde in full effect. We got meditation class this week. Contact me through DM. That's going to be on the 23rd, which is Sunday. Okay? 3:00 Pacific Standard Time. Now, here's the beautiful part. If you miss it, I Zoom it. So I actually record it. So you will get a recording. And that's your gift. But you got to register for it, and you know where to go. Check my bio. Now, guys, this retro started on the 9th. It'll end on the 29th. We're going to peak between now and Saturday. Then it's going to start coming down. By next week, I'm sure I'll have another report for you or some more insights. But guys, be good to yourselves. Go with your first impression. It has no reason to lie to you. I'm spiritual coach Ari Mac. Remember, I guide you through the future. I don't predict it, but I have the tools of astrology, affirmations, aromatherapy, and I have programs and one-on-ones. Hell, I even got a book coming out. It's going to be an ebook. It'll be done at the beginning of next month. There's plenty of ways to connect, but you got to reach out and join my community. So I invite you to I invite you to share, and know that you're not alone. You are blessed. Spirit has never forgotten you. All you got to do is remember that, and starting right now, think better of yourself and the world around you. All right, now I go live at least 2 or 3 times a week, but for sure every Thursday at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So like and follow, and I'll make sure you're in the notification group. And just remember, you guys, you are blessed. All right, till next time. Peace. Stay blessed. Bye.